Now, isn't that kind of cool? That is awesome. And good morning, fellow Travel Dons. My name is Benjamin O. Welcome back to the Adventures of a Traveling Don. We are still here in Cairo for one more day, and we are off to see the pyramids. Let's go. Never showed up. I don't know why. I'm usually pretty good with the Vizier tours. That's sad. Anyway, we're winging it solo today. So let's get to those pyramids, shall we? Exist here. Oh my god! Kidding. There's still some people that are like half over, half on, but I mean that happens to the US. But still, I found lanes. I'm so excited. Looky, looky! Excited! Alright, so we're at the first pyramid. This is the Great Pyramid. This is the Khufu Pyramid. I am super excited.
Stone, no any chemical, no cement, no sand, no machine, all stick it together.
They didn't use cement or anything to put all these blocks. The guy told me that there's like 2 million some odd blocks of stone that basically make up this Great Pyramid. It took well over 20 years to do it. That's an engineering marvel. Holy crap. To like move all that stone, this is amazing. I was just inside the Khufu Pyramid, and it is well worth it. I couldn't bring the camera in, they didn't allow that, but I highly recommend checking it out because it is absolutely fantastic. It is a little claustrophobic, and you do have a bit of a hike up into it, but you get up to about the middle of there, and there's this just kind of like room where you just, there's not much in it, but it's just kind of like really cool. If you're really tall though, it's gonna be a bit to kind of get over there, or to kind of get up there, but because it is very low ceiling, but it is really cool experience. So that's the Khufu Pyramid right there. All right, it's camel time. All right, so just and up and over. Okay, I'm on. This is my friend. Do we have a name here? No.
Hold tight, sir. Lean back.
Holding tight. Holding tight. Oh, jeez. Yep. Whoa, this is awesome.
Leave your body relax, sir, with the camels, okay?
Okay.
To leave your body motion.
Okay. We're up. I'm gonna say hi to my friends. Oh. Just gotta make sure we hold on, because that is a bit of a drop to go down. But anyway, yeah, I'm on a camel. So this area that we're walking through right now was the workers' tombs, which over the course of the 3 pyramids, which is the Khufu, the Khafre, and the Menkaure. So that's
English
grandfather, father, and then son, if you look at it right there. But these are the workers' tombs, and it was about, what, 100,000 over the course of the 3 tombs. So 100,000 different workers that worked on these 3 tombs, or excuse me, pyramids, as well as several dozen engineers over that time as well. But it's kind of cool that they actually have their own tombs for the workers. But, oh, geez, this is my first camel trip. I think I'm doing pretty well. Not too bad. How you doing, buddy? This is my man. right, so that's Khafre behind me. Inside, when you go inside to Khafre, instead of going up, this time they actually have you go into an antechamber going down. And actually that whole antechamber is like one massive stone, which is actually kind of like hollowed out. It's actually really kind of cool. But definitely Khafre 1. This is the one where you get that, because yeah, the limestone used to cover like all the pyramids, but this is the one where you still see kind of like the remnants of it at the top. So but that was actually really, really cool experience going in there. All right, on to the next one. Okay, so behind me was the high priest's tomb, which is actually really, I was actually able to get in and do a little bit of kind of like shot stills and filming in there. So you'll actually get to see a little bit of that inside, which was absolutely fantastic. There's a nice little history to it, which is really like they used to have like an opening into like the sky area where water would come down for fresh water for rain, but that's all closed off due to erosion. But it's actually fantastic. It's a beautiful kind of like just like side off tomb for the high priest. So, all right, onward to the next one. So I gotta say, riding by camel, that's the way to go around here. Yeah, you get used to the bumpiness, but I mean, their humpbacks are, like their old backs are a little bit, you know, much wider than a horse. So I'm not having the same issues that I've had when I've horseback riding. It's actually rather comfy. Bumpy, but comfy. So this area and this part of the tour that I am bouncing up and down on is, of course, the Sahara Desert, and it is absolutely breathtaking. Gorgeous. You get like, I actually like the views of the pyramids from this side than from the city side, but it's really cool. And oh, okay, I take back some of it. It works out your abs, camel riding. All I'm bouncing is just like your abs are like, took it in. So, but this is actually a lot of fun. I've been super enjoying this. So as you can see, they're just always constantly doing excavations. So this whole area is all being excavated near the Sphinx over there. But Ahmed, what is this whole area? Ah, so the tomb for the workers of the second pyramid. This is where this is at. But it's actually really cool. There's a lot of excavation still going on around here. So, well, we've reached this spot, and now time to come down off of Mickey, which I'll introduce you guys when I get down. Okay guys, so let me introduce you to someone very important right now. That is Mr. Mickey. This guy right here. Look at this guy. Oh Mickey, you so fine. You so fine. You blow my mind. Hey Mickey. Hey Mickey. Yeah, but this is the man, the myth, the legend, the camel that is taking me throughout this entire tour. Everybody give it up to Mickey. So behind me is, of course, the majestic and well-known Sphinx. Still a lot of mystery behind the old girl, but it is a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous structure. I mean, come on. That is absolutely fantastic. I'd love to go inside one of these days. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if they allow that, but even still, just being up close to this has been a dream of mine for a long time. This whole experience with the pyramids and the Sphinx. Oh, I'm so happy right now. By the way, this is going to seem very, very game nerdy of me, but everywhere I've gone throughout this entire place, I just like, I reimagine myself playing Assassin's Creed Origins, which takes place in Hellenistic Egypt, and it's like, yeah, you know, I climbed those pyramids, I know what's actually underneath that Sphinx. It's just some kind of like ancient Isu artifacts. It's a bunch of baloney, but even still, it is kind of cool. Just kind of like seeing places now as they are now, and how they imagined them. You know, they did. Ubisoft does a hell of a job with those Assassin's Creed games. So, but I'm not getting paid to say that, by the way. I love those games so much. But yeah, this. All right, so we are off the sands, and I am now on a camel on the streets, as you can see. Riding through town on a camel. Nothing like it. So that was an awesome experience. I had a great time doing that. I mean, the whole camel ride, just kind of like going in and out the pyramids, getting to see the Sphinx. I mean, that's been a bucket list thing of mine to do. So we're heading back to the hotel. I gotta grab some lunch, and since unfortunately the tour thing didn't happen and I had to kind of do it alone, I also ended up spending more money than I would have if I had just done the tour. So yeah, waiting on the refund from that, by the way. So I'm just again kind of sad about that, because Viator, I'm usually really good with Viator tours, but for whatever reason, I know it was last minute, but it just didn't happen. But I still had a great time, and I had a little bit more of kind of like a personal experience. Even though it cost more money, it was definitely much more of a personable experience. It was awesome, and I had my own like tour guide for it. So, but since I am currently out of cash, we're gonna go head back to the hotel, since I can pay with my card to actually have some lunch. So I'll see you guys back at the hotel. Alright, so back at the hotel. Before we go down and grab some lunch here at the hotel, I just wanted to show you guys, this is basically the one real, like, souvenir I've really kind of bought for this entire long trip. And I had to buy this because I saw it and I was like, this is freaking awesome. It doesn't even fit in my suitcase, so I'm just gonna have to carry it around in its little case. But I bought this like beautiful papyrus kind of like artistry, which is, if you look at it, it's just it's a map of the Nile, and it goes from like Alexandria down through Cairo, Giza. You see all the pyramids there, the Sinai, and then of course it continues down to Ben Hassan. And just all the kind of like different places you'll see, Luxor right there, and then of course you get down to Aswan near the end of the Nile, and then they have like the alphabet, which is really kind of cool. But it's just a beautiful kind of like piece of artwork. It wasn't too expensive. I was able to talk them down because it's a rather large piece, and I was able to talk them down to about $150. They were trying to sell me up on it like $250. I dropped them down about $100. But yeah, it's just kind of my one thing, but I loved it. You know, it looks so cool. It was done very well, and I had to get it so I can, you know, find a frame for it and put it up on my wall at home when I'm not traveling. I can actually see it. I'll be like, that's freaking awesome. So, but yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. Now, let's go get some lunch. All right, I'm in my happy zone now. I got my beer after all that dustiness, so this is gonna be awesome. Cheers to you guys. Sakura Gold Beer, Egyptian beer. Can't beat it. All right, so I got the saffron parmesan risotto, which has a veal ossobuco on top, and this is a big freaking plate. For lunch, I wasn't expecting it to be this huge. I mean, I guess you're actually getting your money's worth when it comes to this stuff, but boy, oh boy, it is a huge plate. But I'm gonna give this a try. I love saffron rice. I make it at home sometimes, but I've never had the veal ossobuco. I've had lamb ossobuco before, but not veal. So here we go. That's nice. Got a nice bit of herbs in there as well. Saffron comes out a little bit. It's not overpowering. The veal ossobuco is Very, very tender. And I think osobuko means basically kind of like on the bone or on the shank. So it's just kind of like pieces of the veal on the bone, and it's got some kind of sauce, but I'm not entirely sure what sauce it is. But it is actually really, really good. Yeah, very delicious. I love the color of that rice. That is fantastic. That's really good. All right, so final stop today after lunch and after those pyramids, we're gonna go into the Egyptian Museum just to kind of see a bunch of like artwork and just kind of like a lot of historical stuff that goes, that dates back through all of Egypt's history. So let's go on in and see what we can find. So I will say, this particular room here, this is on the second floor. This is where they told me to kind of start. So this is kind of where you go up to like more the old kingdom, or even before that, I think Middle Kingdom as well as up here. But this is an area where they talk about the animal mummies. It's not just people that, or you know, the pharaohs that mummified themselves. They actually mummified animals with them. And what's kind of interesting is you have one here where you have the sacred ram, what it looks like, gold plated and everything, and what it actually looks like underneath mummified. It's kind of fascinating. There's like all these different like mummified animals in here. There's this one large alligator, which is nuts how huge that thing is. And then there's also, of course, like dogs and whatnot. But it's a very, very unique room here. Just look at all of these mummy caskets. They're like wall to wall of mummy caskets. That's a lot of people just, you know, getting mummified and putting themselves in tombs and stuff like that. This is amazing. Wow. I mean, even if you just go by royal families over thousands of years, you're gonna have few hundred at least, if not a few thousand, but even still. Wow, this is really cool. You know, I'm actually curious about that now when it comes to what kind of people were allowed to be mummified. It's like, was it a royal thing? Was it a noble thing? Could anybody be mummified? Did you have to pay for it? I'm very curious about that. Anybody that knows any Egypt history, in the comments below, please let me know. Nick, I'm looking at you, buddy. But anybody else, please. I'm very, very curious as to what qualifications, if we know, that it takes to be mummified. So, because I just passed by an area where they're working on the royal mummies. I'm like, wait a second, are these not royal mummies? So, I don't know. I'm curious though. It always feels like somebody's watching me. And literally, it does. Like, I move, and the eyes move with me. It's kind of like the haunted house in like Disneyland. It's creepy. Okay, so these replicas of these boats are really, really kind of cool. It's a type of boat that looks like it's like a traveling boat and a kitchen boat. Like, there's different types of boats, and they had different uses. And this is from depicting 11th dynasty, so that's like 2000, late like 1800 BC. That's really, really cool. I like that. These replicas are awesome. I don't think I have the skill to wood carve like that. That's amazing. Okay, so behind me, that door, they actually have a kind of like a side-off area that is purely for Tutankhamun. It's a nice little exhibit in there. You can go inside and see like 2 of the coffins. And apparently he was buried in more than one coffin. I didn't know you needed more than one. But that's the kind of king he was, I guess. But anyway, can't take photos or anything in there. So, but it is really, really cool. Highly recommend when you come here, make a beeline for that Tutankhamun exhibit. It's really nice. Down here back on the first floor is where you'll start to see going from the old and middle kingdoms to like either the newer kingdom, or you also have the last phase of the Pharaonic Egypt, which is the Greco-Roman period, which is basically from the time of Alexander through to the incorporation of Egypt into the Roman Empire and the end of the Pharaonic dynasties. But it is kind of cool, even like this Greco-Roman part right here. It's kind of cool how it actually started to mesh with each other, because you have here is like a head of Zeus, but it says head of Zeus Amun. So it looks like when Alexander took over and the Greeks took over, while they still had the Pharaonic dynasties going on, they kind of combined the Greek and Egyptian gods. At least that's what it looks like. Let me know if I'm wrong on that one. But that actually would make sense, and it is kind of cool. Okay, so that was the Museum of Egyptian History, and I think I should correct a misnomer I might have said earlier when I said it was the Museum of All Egyptian History. It's actually just the Museum of Pharaonic Egyptian History. So it stops basically after the collapse of the Pharaoh dynasties, but it is a fantastic museum. I actually didn't have enough time to do it all because I got here a little after 3 and it closes at 5. Didn't realize how big this museum actually is. So recommendation, if you ever come here and you really kind of want to dig into it, number 1, see if you can get a tour guide. But number 2, if not, definitely take some time. I'd say about 3 or 4 hours instead of like the less than 2 that I did. It's really awesome. All right, guys, so that's pretty much going to do me for today. My apologies that there really wasn't too much food in this particular video. I know most of my videos at least have like 2 places to eat. But this one, I was so focused on the Giza trip. Also, my tour not happening, there was supposed to be a lunch involved in that and a potential meetup for dinner. But given that I just got left behind, I had to kind of wing everything today. But you know what? I kind of got a little bit of a personal touch when it came to this particular video and experience. That was actually a lot of fun at the Giza pyramids. Just having my own camel, having my own tour guide. Even though I paid more than what I would have paid with the tour, boy oh boy, that was still an incredible experience. I'll definitely have a follow-up video at some point in time for tips and tricks throughout all my travels, but definitely particularly for Cairo. There's a lot of things I've learned on this trip that I wish I had known beforehand. Part that cost me a lot more money than I thought I was going to spend in Egypt. But in general, it has been a fantastic trip. If you haven't already seen my other videos for my journey across Europe for this past Christmas, like holidays, from mid-November here through mid-January, definitely check out in my my channel, my playlist for that. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed everything. Thank you guys so much for following me on this grand, epic journey across Europe, ending here in Cairo. But anyway, guys, remember, give it a like. Definitely give me some comments. Let me know what your experiences have been in Egypt for yourself. And then I will see you guys back in the States in Texas. All right, peace out, guys. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.